to come for the journey? Awesome. So, how are we going to do it? Well, our passion, I've already mentioned this to you, is to help people live a life unlimited. What does that mean? Well, it's different for everyone. You might want to send your children to a specific school or a specific university. You might want to live in a different country. You might not want to have to report to the boss you hate. You might not want to have to worry about medical bills or inflation rising. You might not want to worry about your parents or your children financially. And so, me living life unlimited is really important. And I want to give you a little story here just to start off with. So, my uncle is from Zimbabwe in Africa, and he moved to Australia in 2003. He's been investing internationally since 1980. And what was really interesting is that this year, his brother-in-law got sick. So he flew out from Australia to South Africa. He didn't need to report to a boss. He has no boss. He took a month off. He could afford to just come on holiday for a month at the drop of a hat. His brother-in-law had no medical insurance. He took him down to see one of the top private surgeons in the country. And the surgeon said, yeah, but you know he's got no medical insurance. And my uncle said, no problem, I've got it covered. And he basically looked after his brother. Now think about that. That for me is living life unlimited. You don't have to report to anyone. You've got no boss. You can go to any country you want. You can go on holiday for a month. And most importantly, you can help the people you care about without even knowing what the bill will cost. Like, don't worry, I've got it covered. That for me is living life unlimited. How would you like that in your life? And how do you do it? Well, smart investing. I wear a smartwatch. You probably do too. I have a smartphone. I have a smart TV. I have a smart laptop. The question is, are you using smart investing? So, this is a picture of me and Richard Branson. I had the privilege of being with Richard Branson on Necker Island I've been there twice for a week at a time. This was me and him kite surfing around the island. And, one of my philosophies in life is if you want to be wealthy, you've got to get around. You've got to be the dumbest, poorest person in the room. You've got to be learning the whole time. So, we've all heard about the principle of hacking. And when I went to Necker Island, the one and only homework we had to do was that we had to bring one life hack. So there were 25 incredible entrepreneurs that got invited, and I learned so much from all of them, including Richard Branson. But our homework was we had to bring one life hack. And what is a hack? It's basically a way to make life easier, simpler, quicker, because you can learn from others, etc. So that's where we created the concept of the wealth hackers, because we're all out there trying to create wealth. Why don't we hack our way there? Why don't we work together, just like a tech team has a hackathon, to get a quick result in a short space of time, concentrate time. So that's what the wealth hackers is all about. We learn from the wealthiest people like Richard Branson, someone like me, we're hacking our way to wealth. You there as well. I virtually guarantee you on this webinar or masterclass, whatever you want to call it, because you too want to get to your objectives. So I'm going to share with you later what the wealth hackers is all about, how it works, how it statistically has helped thousands of people to get there simpler, safer, faster. 70% statistically, to be honest. So again, you get to decide. You want to do it on your own, or you want to go 70% faster, simpler, and safer. And we spoke a lot about belief. People are really, really worried at the moment when it comes to what is happening in the world. What do I do from an investment perspective? Now, I don't have time today, but there are 6 stages that every investor goes through. Now, I've helped investors from 171 countries invest over $1.2 billion, and I've been doing it for 20 plus years. You have to be a bit of a muppet not to realize the trends. And there are 6 steps that every investor goes through. The first one is belief. If you don't have the belief, everything else is irrelevant. Henry Ford said, if you believe you can or you believe you can't, you're right. Okay. And so for those that want to come on a journey with me in the wealth hackers, it starts with belief. You've got to get your belief system right, because the rest will take care of itself. So there's actually 6 steps. It's about belief, it's about the knowledge, it's about the access and investment, it's about having a system, it's about support and accountability, and then ultimately it's about success. And what most people believe is that, it's just a one-directional thing. It's not. It's an upward spiral. It's a success spiral. And if you take action and you make a commitment to yourself, you go upward and you get started. You might start with $100, but you start to see results, you start to get knowledge, you start to invest, you start to get results. It's an upward spiral. You take no action, unfortunately, the success cycle goes the other way. You go down, you feel depressed, you blame the government, you blame the economy, you blame the banks, you blame petrol, you blame the food, but the bottom line is you never find freedom. So there's an entire course that I offer on this. which we take our wealth hackers through, because it all starts with your belief system, which is critically important. Now, what I'm showing you today is not financial advice. It's the lessons I've learned from personally investing for 25 years, and secondly from helping thousands of investors all over the world. But I want to start with a story. I've already told you the story of my uncle, who truly lives a life unlimited. I have another story. This is me and my dad. I was 13 years old, and I was on my first property project, first real estate project. Now my dad did what you all have been told to do. He went to school, he went to university, he worked really hard, he got a great degree, he became a chartered accountant, he became a chief financial officer, CFO of a listed company. And that's a proper career movement. He invested, he trusted the financial industry, he paid his taxes, and at the age of 59, my dad died broke. So I'm at a very young age. This is me at 13. Wait, hang on. There's something wrong with the system. How the hell can my dad do what we're all taught to do? Go to school, go to university, work hard, get a great job, invest. He's supposed to retire and have a pension and be chilling on a beach somewhere. Not so. So I looked into the research. Absolutely fascinating. We take England, America, and Australia, three of the top countries in the world. At the age of 65, 94% of people will be the same as my dad. They will be dead, broke, or reliant on the government. 94% of people. 5% of people will be financially independent. Now, just an interest, if we were in a live room now, I'd ask the question, who here would like to be financially independent? Put your hand up, please. Financially independent. We're all taught that's what we should be doing. We're all paying our pensions and our, all the different, around the world, the IRS schemes and the 400, SIPs in England and everything else. Who here would like to be financially independent? So I've got someone saying that would be nice. They're the only people that want to be financially independent. I do. So what's interesting is, again, we're going to do the research because we're taught by marketing that we want to be financially independent. But what's really interesting, if you go look at it according to the financial industry, financially independent means that you earn 25% less than your last paycheck. So in simple maths to me, you're poorer by 25% from the day you retire. And in simple terms, what that means to me is that you are financially trapped. Okay, so I'll give you a story of that. My father-in-law is an optometrist who looks after eyes. He worked his whole life, he invested, he paid his pension. I saw him last week, it's his 80th, and he literally, he's healthy, and now he's worried that he's going to outlive his money. Because he retired at 65, and he's living his pension, and the money's running out. That's financially trapped. Imagine being 80, and you're actually hoping you die, even though you're healthy, because you're running out of money. And yet you worked hard, you became an optometrist, you invested, you paid your pension. That's financially trapped. And what's really, really scary is that 99% of people are in this situation. They're either dead, broke, reliant on the government, or financially trapped. You've got to ask yourself, all of us start a race. It's not about one person winning the race. One person is finishing the race. Now, if you're like me, when I understood this, I got angry. I was like, this is ridiculous. In fact, it's despicable. All of us being set up for failure. So I went out and I went, right, I'm not playing that game. I'm going to go and read a book. Who's read the book Rich Dad Poor Dad? And I'm going to take control of my financial destiny. And I learned all about the cash flow quadrants. I'd highly recommend you read the book. But it's all about the employee and the business owner, the self-employed. To get into more detail, you can go into all the detail. But bottom line is the employee, about hard work, no security, no time. Self-employed is large debts, insufficient funds. It's all about active income. It's all about working. This is 95% of the world. Then you've got the business owner, and it's, I don't necessarily agree with the easy work, but easy work, stability, spare time. Then you've got the investor, it's no debts, plenty of money, freedom. 95% of the world have passive income. Ask you right in the front, you would like passive income. And so, for me, we're all trying to figure out how to get there. Even if you're a business owner, you'd love to know how you've got diversification and passive income. So, I went and read all the books. And it brings me up to book number 1. You read Rich Dad Poor Dad, Think and Grow Rich, Real Estate Riches. Maybe you read my book, Probably Going Global, Mel Robbins, Unshakeable, Money Master Game. 20 years. I've read all the books. I've got all the degrees. I've got a master's cum laude. I've got the highest qualification I think in Australia and America um, in terms of property and investment. You could not have done more self-development in terms of reading books, going on courses, going to personal development things, having coaches, having mentors. I've done it all. And the bit that I realized was that I didn't have to do it for myself. This book, Rich Dad Poor Dad, by Bob Riz. If you've read this book, it's all about real estate. Like I read this book back in early 2000s, and he says, you need to walk the streets, and you need to find 100 houses, you need to make an offer on 10, get accepted for 3, and you need to buy one. Well, this was me in the heart of the crash in America. This is Dolphin this year, and his book. I was literally on a buyer's trip with him. I did a whole bunch of buyer's trips around America. These were crazy days. Americans know what I'm talking about. These people are sitting here, literally all, like this is the auction. This was on the steps of the county house where we were buying houses. We were buying them at crazy prices. It was crazy time. But, this was me there at next Dolphin. There were a group of us that were there buying houses, with them. And again, I learned, trying to do it all for myself. I own lots of properties. Thousands of people buy properties on their own. And I just realized this is really, really hard. So, where did it all start for me? Well, I did my first property project when I was 13. I showed the picture of me and my dad on the site. And actually, it was this property here that we developed. I did my first property development. I built 6 townhouses when I was 22. I did my first London property when I was 24. I then helped thousands of people invest into South African property, London property. And what I realized was that the reason that the 99% are not getting the same results as the top 1% is they're investing in different assets. You and I are generally, when we buy residential property or real estate, are stuck in country. And that's a massive problem. In America, the property price went down in 2008 to 2009, 40, 50, 60%, depending on what city we're talking about. In England, they've got major problems with Brexit a couple of years ago, and more recently with currency. And yet when people want to diversify and invest in different markets, it's very hard to get into commercial property or real estate. It's very hard to get into international real estate. There's massive complexity in terms of banking, legal, structure, tax, compliance. So what do? They put it in the too hard bucket, and they don't get results, and they just choose to complain. Fortunately, I showed you the stats. 99% of people don't even finish the race. So I'll give you another couple of stories. 2008, 2009, the last big crash that we had. I could buy this building in London, in Wimbledon, where they play tennis. There were 48 units. The developer was in big trouble. This company called Barrett Homes, one of the biggest developers in England. I could buy all 48 units. I could buy them at a 40% discount. I could buy them with a great return, a great income return, and with great potential capital uplift. And I wrote an email to my investors. I said, look guys, look down the bottom here. I don't care what happens with values in the short term. This represents a real opportunity. Well, I could have bought those units for £160,000 each. Take a guess today what they were 10, 11, 12 years later. £160,000 what I could have bought them for. Take a guess what they were today. This is me still trying to do it all on my own. Anyone? I'll take out your misery. You can probably sell them now for somewhere around £800,000 to £1 million. Yes, you should be right. 400,000. But yeah, probably £800,000 to £1 million. So you would have tripled, if not quadrupled, your money over 11, 12 years, and you would have earned an income the entire time. The frustrating thing for me was I needed to have £10 million. I ran around to my 2,500 investors who were all like me, that all trying to do it on their own. In 2009, I was in Bondi Beach, Australia. I met 2 billionaires, 2 US dollar billionaires, and they were buying medical buildings. I said to them, geez, man, I've been investing for a long time. No one ever told me about medical. I said, why medical? They said, what do you want, Scott? No matter what happens in the world, people need doctors. Like, okay, that makes sense. Secondly, doctors never leave their premises. I was like, oh, that's a great thing. And thirdly, doctors are not accountants, so they sign very good long-term leases. unshakeable. Why is no one ever talking about this? How do I participate? I said, no, it's simple. There's one ticket. It's 5 million Australian dollars each. Okay. Didn't have 5 million Australian dollars. So missed out on that opportunity to create enough faith. I finally had the epiphany. I went out and I realized that the way to win was not on my own, but it was to win together. And so we built the technology, we built a company called Bomb My Trade. We literally went out, we bought our first medical commercial building in 2014. This was it. It was a $16 million deal. We had to put $6 million in equity into this deal. We got 82 investors from around the world who invested in this deal. I too participated. I became an owner of 7 properties in this medical consortium. For 5 years, it paid me a great return, and we exited that deal a couple of years ago. And not only did I get the income, but I got the capital growth. And so I had this massive epiphany where I went, right, I can be this $2